Hello, Captains. This is a continuation of the 30th anniversary celebration of Star Trek The Next Generation. This is my continuing look at the different variants of the Galaxy Class Starship that is in-game in the game Star Trek Online. This is called an Exploration Cruiser Refit. It is still a Tier 4 starship, but it is also a C-Store starship, meaning you have to spend a Zen in order to purchase it. It is a little bit more enhanced than the classic original for free Tier 4 starship. So if you haven't checked out that starship yet and what that's all about, and in fact what this video is all about, please check out my first video where I go over the Galaxy Class Tier 4 starship and begin our journey of this 30th anniversary celebration of Star Trek The Next Generation by looking at all the different variants of this type of ship, this class of ship, in-game. So the first thing I'm going to do with the Exploration Cruiser Refit here is we will go to ground and on ESD and take a look at the specifications of this ship and how I have it built and how that compares to the for free Tier 4 ship you get with a token. And then, as usual, we will take it into combat and we will go do several different things and see how this ship goes. Hello, Captains, and welcome to Earth Space Dock. Before we get into the Exploration Cruiser Refit, or Venture Class as it's called, I just want to thank everybody for all of their comments in the last video of the Galaxy Class Tier 4 video. I appreciate all of them, and I have read all of them. I may not be able to answer every single question or every single comment, but I have read your comments, and I take everything to heart, and will try to cover as much as I can about these things. So I do appreciate all of that. One thing I wanted to touch on, one of the commenters, I will go ahead and shout out their name here, Vasoros, in the comments, let me know or reminded me about the new Trilithium laced phaser weaponry in the game. It's a new set, and it's available via a recent featured episode. And I actually forgot about that. I actually forgot that it included a 360-degree phaser beam, which would be beneficial to my build. So I have since then gone and played that mission, and I have got that Omni beam, and I put it on my ship now, and I upgraded it. So thank you, Vasoros, for that information. I also got the console that goes along with it. And I'm going to go over all that when we talk about the build of this ship, because it's just slightly different from the last one. Not a whole lot, but just slightly. You also recommended, I read, to use torpedo spread instead of torpedo high yield due to the fact that you can get a higher shield drain with a spread of torpedoes rather than a high yield torpedo. I will certainly try that out. I never thought about that. So I will go ahead and change my power here in the video before we go into battle, and I'll use torpedo spread this time instead of torpedo high yield, and maybe that will have a little bit of a difference. So thank you for those suggestions. And yes, I am definitely going to combine and look at all of the ships, all the variants of this ship with the consoles combined, because this is something I haven't mentioned yet, and I was going to with this ship. But if you take the Tier 4 C-Store console version of this ship, and you take the console from it, and you take the console from the Tier 5 version of this ship, and then the Tier 6 version of this ship, you can put all three consoles together and get a 2- and 3-piece bonus from all three consoles and gain all the abilities that we're going to go over on one ship, like saucer separation and antimatter spread. You're going to get everything on one ship. And I'm going to do that, but of course it makes sense to wait until I get to the Tier 6 version of the ship to do that, because if you had all the ships now, you would just go ahead and fly the latest tier ship. You wouldn't be flying a Tier 4 ship. So these videos are about if, you know, this is the highest level ship you have at the time, then this is what you would be flying, because naturally if you have a higher tiered ship version of this, that's what you would be flying. So anyway, hope that clears some of that up, and I definitely take your suggestions at heart, and we'll try them out. I read all the comments, so again, just thank you so much for the feedback on that. Go watch that first video if you haven't seen it yet. Okay, enough about all that. Let's jump into the Exploration Cruiser Refit Tier 4 Starship. Now, here's what you need to know about the Venture class we're about to look at. Number one, this is what you call a non-canon starship. It was not in the TV show, okay? Now, some will argue, is STO canon? Star Trek Online, is it canon? Well, yes, maybe. Everything that goes into Star Trek Online has to be sanctioned by CBS, who owns the property and assets and rights of Star Trek proper. So anything that goes into this game, if it's not approved by CBS, it doesn't go into the game. So if CBS approves something like these starships, like the Enterprise F, for example, or other things that are in the game, then that's pretty much CBS saying, yeah, okay, it's canon. We're giving you permission to put that into the Star Trek universe. So if they wanted to in the future make a future Star Trek series that took place after Star Trek Online, they could pull things from the game and put it in the TV show. That's how real it could get. So, is this stuff canon? Right now, it's kind of on the fence unless you see it in a TV show. But yeah, why not? Let's just think of it as canon, since there is no post-Voyager Star Trek at this time. There's no, or Nemesis, I guess would be the latest. There is no post-Nemesis Star Trek at the time. So why not? Everything can be right now canon until we do, until a future series debunks it or whatever. Who knows? But anyway, the point of all that is because the Venture class I'm going to show you today has not been seen in the TV series. This was one of the first ships that Cryptic designed based off of an idea. And the idea is the Venture class is named after a real ship that was in the series called the USS Venture. The USS Venture was seen in the series Deep Space Nine on TV. So that ship is canon. That was a regular old Galaxy Class Starship. That starship was captained by a friend of Captain Benjamin Sisko, and it played a big role during the Dominion War with the Federation. It was seen in several episodes of DS9. So the USS Venture Galaxy Class is a real ship. The Venture class is a Cryptic designed ship that is a homage to that. It honors that ship. It's named after that ship, and it just so happens to be it's still a Galaxy class at heart. It's basically just a redesigned, different looking, more modernized Galaxy class, but it is not any different, hardly, from the classic Galaxy class that we have at Tier 4 in this game that you get when you become a captain. So that's the starting point here for what the Venture class is all about. Now, it is C-Store. So like I said in the last video, the Tier 4 Galaxy that you get at captain level is the first and last free Galaxy class type of starship that you get. Anything beyond that is going to be C-Store stuff or fleet ships. So if we go to the C-Store and we go to ships and we go to Tier 4, again it's still a Tier 4, we're still in the Tier 4 level, and we go to the Venture Exploration Cruiser Refit. This is it right here. Here's some pictures of it. We'll take a look in space. It's very shiny, it's very cool looking, very modern looking. But let's read a little bit about it, shall we? This vessel comes equipped with an antimatter spread module. This console allows you to fire an antimatter spread around your ship that will confuse enemy sensors. The console can be equipped on any ship, in any console slot. It's part of the Galaxy set. The two-piece set bonus improves your starship hull plating and armor reinforcement skills, as well as your ship's turn rate. If equipped on a starship with saucer separation, or the Galaxy Cruiser, or Dreadnought, or Prometheus Multivector Advanced Escort, or any Odyssey cruiser, your saucer will also gain antimatter spread. Finally, if both consoles of the set are equipped on a Galaxy Dreadnought, the Dreadnought's Spinal Lance will become a wide beam attack when the saucer is deployed. The Exploration Cruiser Refit configuration includes the Venture, Galaxy, Celestial, and Envoy classes. Unlocking the Exploration Cruiser Refit Venture class also unlocks the Venture class costume for the Exploration Cruiser, the Cruiser Retrofit, and the Galaxy Dreadnought, and of course the refit here as well. Now, the specs on this you're going to find are extremely similar to the Tier 4 Galaxy class we just looked at in the previous video. 4 weapon slots, 3 aft. You have to be a captain to fly this. Tier 4. 1 lieutenant tactical, 1 lieutenant engineering, 1 commander engineering, 1 ensign science, 1 lieutenant science. We gain 1 bridge officer station with this ship. We gain an ensign science. That was not there. We also have 2 tactical, 3 science, and 3 engineering. We gain a science console with this ship. It was 2 on the previous ship, and now we have 3. 6 degrees per second still. The same hull strength, 32,500 as the original Galaxy class. But we have this new module called the antimatter spread ability. Still has +5 to all subsystem power, and it still has the full cruiser communication array. So the 3 things that are new about this ship that you should take away is the antimatter spread module. 4 things, that is. Antimatter spread module for an extra little power, an extra console, a science console, and another bridge officer seating. So we have 5 total bridge officer seatings now. We get an ensign science power. And then finally, a costume. The Venture class costume here, which looks different. And you can apply this now. Once you purchase this, just as this says up here in the text, once you purchase the Venture Exploration Cruiser Refit, you can use this costume on the original Galaxy class, the original one that you get for free. So you don't have to fly this specific ship. You could use the other one if you wanted to and put this costume on, but of course, why would you want to? This ship has 1 more bridge officer seating and 1 more console, so this would be the better ship to have. But the hull strength is still the same. So where the previous ship was weak in its hull strength for in-game content, this ship is also still going to have that issue, simply because it's the same, and everything else about it is the same as the Tier 4 Starship we just looked at. So the reason why you would want to purchase this ship might be if you are, playing through and leveling a new character, and you want to have a really good Tier 4 captain level starship. This is a little bit more enhanced than the free version, and you can carry it through to in-game, and if you purchase the other ones, you can take the console from this, combine it, and have even more powers down the line on a higher end ship. And I'm going to show you all about that. So I'm going to bring up the build now on this ship, and here it is. This is pretty much the same build that I had on the previous video. Not much has changed except for that Trilithium lace stuff I was talking about. But let's first look at the antimatter module, because that's what makes this ship unique. The free one you get at captain level does not have a unique console, but this one does. This one is called the Universal Antimatter Spread. Now, as you can see, it is part of a set called the Enhanced Engineering Systems. You need the antimatter spread module, which we have. You need the saucer separation module, which you will get on the Tier 5 retrofit version of this ship. And then you also need the molecular cohesion nullifier. I'm guessing you get that with the Tier 6 version of the ship. I don't actually have it, so that will be new to me when I get to it. I can't wait. That'll be new stuff I haven't played with yet. But if you put all three of those consoles together on any of these Galaxy Class ships, you get a Set 2 bonus called Enhanced Structural Systems, and then a Set 3 bonus called Reinforced Shielding. Now what do those do? Well, Enhanced Structural System gives you plus 10 all damage resistance rating for 10 seconds, and it gives you a plus 2 flight turn rate for 10 seconds, and plus 10 engine power setting. So this is a passive ability that will just proc when it procs, and you get that little bit of buff there for your starship. The other thing you get is Reinforced Shielding. You get a flat out passive plus 10% maximum shield capacity and a plus 10 shield regeneration, and it reduces all energy damage to shields by 5%. So it basically beefs up your Galaxy class just a little bit more. I like that. So all three together, of course, you will then also have antimatter spread, saucer separation with the ship, and whatever molecular cohesion nullifier is. I don't actually know what that is, but I can't wait to find out. And then all three together would also give you these two other abilities, so you gain like 3, 4, 5 abilities right here, 5 buffs here, just by putting all those consoles together. But naturally you have to have the tier 4, 5, and 6 ship. So at that point you would just put them on the tier 6 ship. I mean, there's no reason why you would fly a tier 5 or tier 4 version of the ship if you had the tier 6 version. So we will wait until we get to the tier 6 version and get all three consoles, and I will make a video with all three of those together. I will actually start off separately just with the one console, just as if you just bought that one ship singular and did not have the other consoles. And then I'll put them together in another video and we'll show what it's like all together. So that's kind of the plan, how that's going to work out. Now, this antimatter spread itself, this is actually a canon thing. This was seen in an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation. Can you name it? It was used in The Best of Both Worlds. That's right, this was seen when actually the saucer had separated from the main drive, and they used antimatter spread to confuse the sensors of the Borg to go rescue Captain Picard, Locutus of Borg. So the antimatter spread was seen in the TV series, and they have it in game, but you have to have this C-Store version of the Enterprise or Galaxy Class Refit in order to get this ability. Now, what this does in the game is that it confuses the enemy. It makes them question what is foe and what is friend. What is foe looks like friend. And so they basically don't know who to fire on. It's like basically interfering their sensors, so they have targeting problems. That's pretty much it. It doesn't last for a whole lot of time, but the great benefit of it is that it has a 5-kilometer range, so other ships around will also be affected when you set it off. So it's really useful when there's a whole lot of ships around you. And it does do its job. It makes it just so that you can take them out a little faster, sustain yourself a little longer. It's not an ability that does damage. It's just a confuse ability. But it is cool, and it is part of that enhanced engineering system, so you need it anyway if you want the entire set down the road. So that's what's new about this ship. That's like the newest thing about this ship compared to the previous one, is that ability. Also, they gave us another science console slot. We only had 2 before, but of course this ability is taken up by that slot. So really, you gained one, but you lost it again. Now, you do have the option to just not use antimatter spread at all on this ship, and you could take it off, and you could put something else in the science console that might be more beneficial to you. So you don't have to use antimatter spread. If you find out that it's just not working for you and you don't like the ability, you can take it off and make your ship even more powerful by utilizing the science console there for something different. And in fact, I'm going to do that in this video because I'm not able to squeeze in all the consoles I want to squeeze in, and that's where we're going to segue into the Trilithium stuff. So in a recent featured episode, and it's now actually under, of all places I didn't think it would be here, under the Klingon War, at the very end, you will see Beyond the Nexus. This is a recent featured episode that was released in the game. I have a playthrough of it. You can check that out. This is now under the Klingon War storyline arc. I don't know why they put it there. I thought it would be under New Frontiers, but no, they put it under the Klingon War, so whatever. Now it's there, and if you play this mission,
we recently received a distress
you will
signal from
see
the USS Forrestal,
that this
a
has,
ship we thought was lost in the Nexus back in 2332.
I'm going to just let him talk.
We
so
sent
can,
the USS Madison
it's hard
out
to hear me
investigate,
over his voice,
but
so
they haven't checked
hold on
in for some
second.
time. Considering the Nexus is involved, they could be in trouble. The Madison's last known position was in the Rotanev system. Meet with the USS Challenger there to investigate the situation. Her captain has some experience with the Nexus.
Okay, that was annoying. Alright, what I was trying to say was the rewards for this mission are trilithium-based weaponry. You've got a trilithium tricobalt torpedo, a trilithium enhanced omnidirectional phaser beam, or phaser turret. Now what's interesting about these is it is phaser damage, and of course I am using phaser energy, so it makes sense that this set might work well for me. And in fact it does because of this omnidirectional phaser beam. It gives me another omnidirectional phaser beam. I already have one on the ship, but now I can have another one, and I can actually put both on this ship. And that way, when I'm firing forward, doing forward fire, or any direction really, all of my aft beams will now track and fire no matter where I'm pointed. So I don't have to even worry anymore about port firing with this ship. I can totally concentrate on forward fire with this ship and have every beam possible hitting the enemy, doing the maximum amount of damage. So thank you, Visoris, for the information on this. I didn't even think about adding these weapons to my ship, and they are beneficial. Now, what does Trilithium Enhance do? Well, apparently that increased weapon haste, which is cycle haste. Basically, it can help your beams fire faster. Kind of like a haste. It just makes it fire faster. There's a chance of that. I think it's only a 10% chance. Now, if you combine it with the other ability here, like maybe the console, you get a power transfer rate buff, and you get, where is it, over here, you get a power transfer rate buff, pretty high power transfer rate buff, you get a starship hull restoration buff, and a starship hull capacity buff. Now that hull capacity buff can be very important for this tier 4 starship. I want that. And then plus, when you put this console and the Omni Phaser Beam together, you get a 2-piece bonus called Speed Tweaks. Now if you had all 3 pieces, if I had the torpedo on here, I'd get a 3-piece bonus called Reinforced Engineering. But I really like my quantum torpedo, my quantum phase torpedo, so I'm going to keep my quantum phase torpedo. And the reason why I like my quantum phase torpedo is because of the shield drain with the set. This one right here, the quantum phase torpedo, this quantum phase catalyst set with all 3 pieces. Number 1, I get the quantum destabilizing beam, which is extra weaponry that I don't want to lose. I really like that weaponry on this ship because it needs it. Number 2, the shield drain with this quantum set is excellent, and when you have all 3 pieces, it buffs that shield drain even more. So having the torpedo and the energy weapons draining the shields is a real plus with this quantum phase catalyst set. And then of course you get the quantum destabilizing beam with all 3 pieces. So I don't want to get rid of this torpedo for the other one, even though it also has a 3-piece bonus. So instead, what I've done is, for right now, I've put the Trilithium Enhanced Omnidirectional Phaser Beam on this ship. As you can see, I've upgraded it to Mark 14 Epic Quality, so it's as high as it can go. And so that means I now have 2 omnidirectional phaser beams in the back, so that I can fire forward with my ship and both beams will fire forward. I also have the kinetic cutting beam. And of course, since it's 360 degree, it will also fire forward or fire wherever. So all of my aft beams on this starship now are going to fire directly forward with my 2 dual beams and this single quantum beam and my torpedo. Everything is going to fire forward. I point it at the enemy and everything will fire at it at once. That is power, especially on a cruiser. Means I don't have to flip around and turn around and like port fire and worry about all that stuff to get the maximum usage of my beams. Nope. All I got to do is look them straight in the face and fire. I love that. So thank you for that Trilithium laced information there. I'm definitely going to like that. Now, like I said, the console is another part of that. I have the console right here in my inventory. I upgraded it to Mark 14 Epic. So what you get out of that is a plus 66.7 power transfer rate, plus 25 hull restoration, and plus 25 hull capacity. Problem is, it is an engineering only console. It will only fit in an engineering slot. It does not fit anywhere else. It's not a universal console. But the problem is, I like all my engineering consoles. In fact, I like all the consoles I have on this ship. I don't want to sacrifice one. That's the problem. I don't want to sacrifice one. Except, maybe I do. And then that would be the antimatter spread. So, if we find out that it's not a huge deal, I would, even though you are paying the money for the antimatter spread, I would probably, on my build, rip off the antimatter spread because I've only got one console, right? And then I would move the universal one, like the assimilated module, down here to science. And then I would put the reinforced armaments up here in engineering and benefit from everything it has to offer, as well as a 2-piece bonus. And the 2-piece bonus I would get when I have it in there, in combination with the Omni Beam, is I'd get this speed tweaks bonus, and that is a 5% firing cycle haste for energy weapons. So that increases it from 10% to 15% firing cycle haste, and plus 15 flight speed. So very important for this Galaxy Class Starship. We know that flight speed and turn rate is something that this ship can really benefit from. So this 2-piece bonus would be really nice. The 3-piece bonus would be really nice, but I don't want to get rid of my quantum torpedo. I guess I could take off a dual beam bank and put that other tricobalt torpedo here and have 2 torpedoes up front. Then I would have all 3 bonuses from this. You get a plus 20 all damage resistance and even more hull capacity. That could be beneficial. Now, you could do that if you want. I personally don't see the need for more than 1 torpedo, but maybe you do in your build. Maybe it's something to experiment with, right? Like I said, you know, there's so many different ways you can build a ship, so who knows? Maybe it would be beneficial to have that instead, but you definitely would have to take off the antimatter spread in order to do that. So what I'm going to do first is demonstrate the ship in battle without this console. But then we will put it on, we'll take off the antimatter spread at the end and maybe just do 1 round of something with this on, just to see the differences, to see that 2-piece bonus and see what that does. So we will try it both ways there. I'm interested to see, but for right now, the console is in my inventory and I just have the Omni Beam itself, which, let me make sure I'm correct here, it has, I was wrong, it's not a 10% chance, it's a 2.5% chance to gain a 10% firing cycle haste for energy weapons. So there's only a 2.5 chance that this will even proc for the cycle haste, firing cycle haste. So that's not huge. Not huge. But we'll see what happens with that. But anyway, I still would want this weapon anyway, because having 3 360-degree beams in aft is definitely a better setup. So amen on that. Okay, now like I said, he also recommended I go into my stations and change this to spread. So there you go. Torpedo spread. I already had it skilled on here. So now my character will be doing torpedo spread instead of high yield. Maybe that will help with some shield drain. Also, while we're here in the bridge officer stations, you will note the extra bridge officer I'm able to put in. An extra science bridge officer. Ensign only, of course. But an ensign science power. And I went ahead and put jam targeting sensors here. Nothing big. It's not a whole lot of very good ensign science powers, but this one I went ahead and used. You can put whatever you want there, but basically it just gives you a little bit more power for the ship. You know, it's an extra little power that you can have, space power for the ship. All my skills and everything are exactly the same from the previous video. All my starship traits are set here. Again, you can get these off the exchange, so I know that it might seem like I'm showing the ship with an unfair advantage using these starship traits, but really when you're at in-game level 60, you can purchase these from lockboxes or exchange, so you yourself can have starship traits on this ship even though it doesn't have its own starship trait. So that's something you can do and will make the build better. So I'm going to go ahead and use what's possible, because it's possible for anybody to do that. Anybody. Space reputation powers, active reputation powers. Skills. I have pilot set as secondary. I do not have it maxed out yet. I'm 2 away from maxing it out, but that's giving me a plus 38% turn rate. And then I have intelligence officer maxed out as primary. Now, like I said in the previous video, I would probably want miracle worker with this ship. And second to that would be command officer. But I don't have any of those unlocked yet on this character. But if I did, I would probably go with miracle worker primary, and then if I didn't have that one, it would be the command one. So that's all my powers. That's everything set on this ship. Let's go take a look at how we can customize the view of this ship. I don't know why that's selected. There's the Venture right there. So this is the Venture. It's the Type 6 material. It's very unique. I love the way it looks. It's basically a modernized Galaxy. I really like this saucer down here and how it looks. It's more rounded. There's even a slant to the pylons of the nacelles. You can see they stick a little out like that. It's curved here on the neck. It has a pleasing texture. It looks really good. I just really like this. This is a good design. If I saw this in the TV series, like, you know, if they ever had like a, let's say just they, you know, for sheer imagination, that in the series we had an NCC 1701D/A or something like that, you know, a retrofitted version of the ship, just like the Enterprise went from NCC 1701 to NCC 1701A. Imagine that kind of a change. I could see this ship being that ship. It's just really, really good looking. What you can change here is, of course, the bridge. We're going to go with the Galaxy 2368 bridge. The windows, the material, like I said, is Type 6. That's just going to be based on what other ships you have purchased. You might have a veteran if you're a veteran. You can mix and match the things here. Venture is the default style, but if you have other things, you can mix and match them. You can add a pattern. So there's some customization here you can do. You can also make it look just like the regular Galaxy. You can fly it just like this, and nobody will ever know that you have the Venture class. You can secretly fly this, but really have this. So that's cool. Let's go up to space, take a look at the specifications, and then we'll go into battle. And here we are in space, majestically looking at the Venture class here, and it is beautiful. I really like the looks of this updated Galaxy Class. It's very, very slick. Alright, let's look at the specs. So I'm running 123 weapons, 96 shield, 60 engine, 81 aux. That is a little bit higher than previous, I think by 1 point in each field except for weapons. Reason for that is my added bridge officer station. Nogur here is a must-have something that can affect power. What does he have? Yes, he has efficient. So it increases warp core efficiency plus all power levels when low power. So that's affecting my... he's also giving me bonus damage and perception as well. So that gives me just a little bit, just, a 1 point bump in power there. Nothing huge, but that's why that's a little bit different. Otherwise, everything's pretty much the same. When we go look here, we will see that my hull strength is 53,649. That's similar to previous ship. Power transfer rate is also similar. Now, if I put this on, I put this console on, that would definitely change it. Hull repair, 69.8%. Shield strength, 16,726, because nothing there changed. Nothing changed in my resistances either. Still the same critical chance and critical severity. And 10.6 degrees a second turn rate. So as you can see, the specifications of the ship are pretty much the same as the previous ship. Nothing has really changed for any dramatic effect. All that we've gained is a new ability, antimatter spread, and we have a new bridge officer ability. We've got the scramble sensor ability, or jam targeting sensor, and then of course the new looks of the ship. And I mean, that's pretty much it. It's very similar then to the other ship. So if the cost is worth it to you or not, well, that's just going to depend on, number one, I think if you are going to get the future ships, the other Galaxy classes, then it might be, because then you can combine the consoles later on, but we'll see. Okay, so let's look at the weapon DPSs here. I did not do this in the last video. I apologize for that. The numbers here should be the same as they were there, so we can compare those with later versions of this ship. Let me turn this on here. But what we've got here is 1879 phaser damage and 1503 DPS on the two dual beam banks. 1580, 1503. One has more damage than the other. One's higher on crit D. The quantum phase array is 1439 phaser damage, 1151 DPS. The quantum torpedo is 791 DPS or 7900 kinetic damage. Now these Omnis, they're not going to be as powerful as the beam banks, even the single beam bank, but they're still not terrible. 1331 phaser damage, 1065 DPS for that one. This one's the Trilithium laced one, and this one being the other one is 1475 phaser damage and 1180 DPS. And the kinetic cutting beam is 1600 DPS and 2134 kinetic damage. Don't underestimate that kinetic cutting beam. It can do some pretty good DPS. So that is everything, all the powers there. That should be very similar to the previous Starship. I apologize for forgetting to show that. But we can compare those numbers when I do the Tier 5 versions of this ship and Tier 6 and see if they change at all. And of course those numbers get buffed when I do things like emergency power to weapons. That's going to buff the power, and other things here. I've got EPS and I've got Nadion, and stuff like that is going to help buff those numbers. So they will change, of course. Here is the torpedo spread. So I did add that icon. We now have that ready to go. Here's the antimatter spread. So as you can see, this is a negative 4850 perception for 11.2 seconds, plus 1 confuse for 11.2 seconds. Upon expiration, it applies a confuse immunity for 20 seconds, and placate for 11.2 seconds, and disables area map for 11.2 seconds. So it's very short-lived, but it does do its job. So we will take a look at that. I will use it. You'll see the effect of it. It's very easy to see. It's like a sparkling effect. And I'll point that out, of course, when I use it in combat. Otherwise, I just have to be very careful with this ship since it is tier 4. The hull strength on it is not the bestest in the world, so I have to heal constantly. I have to be aware of my hull strength, buff things when I need to buff things, or move out of the way when I need to move out of the way. Luckily, as an engineer, what really helps is having Miracle Worker. That is definitely a big advantageous thing for this ship. And then the repair nanites as well, because I have the Soul Defense System on this set. Same set as I had on the previous ship. It's the Soul Defense System, the Desperate Defenses set, all of it. And then I have an Elite Fleet Plasma Integrated Warp Core with AMP, ECAP, EFF, SSS, weapons to aux, and weapons to shield. So, at this point, without further ado, it's time to take her into combat. And we will see how it does. Remember, I've got the Trilithium laced Omni in the back now, so I can fire forward and not have to worry about port firing. I can also just be aware that I've got the antimatter spread, and then in the future we're going to switch them out and put that other console in just to see. I'm not going to do a terrible amount of stuff here, just whatever I feel like I need to do to demonstrate the abilities of the ship. But the very first thing I'll do is, just like we did in the last video, I'll do the Zenkethi Red Alert. That's a normal difficulty Red Alert. It is harder, though, than, not harder in difficulty, but just harder hitting the ships are than the Borg Red Alert and the Tholian Red Alert. So this is a good test. If you can survive the Zenkethi Red Alert, then you're good for the other two. But I will start there and we'll go on with the rest. I will, of course, only do up to advanced level stuff with this ship. I'm not going to do anything elite with this ship. Alright, stand by and I will get that queued up. Well, that popped pretty quickly, so here we go. Zenkethi Red Alert. Let's do my weapon system efficiency. We're going to head to the left. I'm going to bring up chat just in case anybody in chat in the team decides to talk or say something. I'll go ahead and talk. There we go. Somebody new is playing, so I'm just letting them know to take out all protomatter bombs at all costs. Always good to do that,
all
remember.
Ships, this is Martok. Prepare for battle.
Because there might be people that haven't played yet, so, you know, you gotta help them. We can get around that tractor beam easy. I'm not in a good position for torpedo spread. There we go.
Destroy enemy battleships to bring out
now,
their
the
dreadnought.
battleships here, this could be a good place to use the antimatter
Take out those
spread.
ships.
In fact, I think I'm going to use the antimatter spread on them. Here it goes. Bam! Now they're confused. They don't know what to do. They're going
cruisers
crazy.
first. They're the backbone of a Zenkethi fleet.
Trying to turn here so I can hit him with my destabilizer beam. There we go. That's how you do it. Took some damage, but we are okay. Looks like they're okay. We're okay. Everybody's okay. We're all okay. I think another group spawns over here, and then another group will spawn over there. Let's hit them with the torpedo spread. Yep, there they are. There's the other ships over there, so I need to get back over there pronto. I'm gonna ignore these ships here. I gotta get back here with these. Actually, I gotta get over here. Never mind. They're on both sides, of course. Taking out the battleship is very important because that's what stops the protomatter bombs. Huh, wonder what ability that was. That was neat. He did an ability I've never seen before. Okay, we gotta... Our satellite's getting beat up, though. We gotta get them back over here. I'm gonna lose the satellite. Shoot. Can I heal it? Can you not heal the satellite? Really? You can't heal the satellite? Oh, man. Oh, shoot. We lost the stupid satellite. Also, they got a big problem over there. We need to go over there real quick. Look at those abilities he's doing. What is all that? I've never seen that before. Okay, we got to get over here pronto. These guys are having some problems. Of course, our satellite went down. I can't believe you can't heal the satellite. That is so stupid. Alright, what's important here is we got to get these battleships out of the way. Okay, I'm going to confuse them. I'm going to torp them. Hit up another thing there. Gone are they?
There's the Senkethi flagship. Destroy it at once.
Well, their satellite's good. Yay for them. I guess those ships probably don't even matter right now because our satellite's already gone. Need to take care of these proto-matter torpedoes anyway. Well, that was good. That was a really good run there. We had a good team. Having a good team definitely plays a big part in these. Keep that in mind. I mean, you can do so much yourself if you have a good build and all that, but there's nothing like having a good team behind you. When everyone pulls their weight, things are a lot better. So that was like a cheesecake. Oh, I love cheesecake. Now I want a cheesecake. That was a cheesecake. Alright, so let's spool up something else. Let's do just what we did before. Let's go do the Draenor colony Dreneur Assault. That is. Dreneur Assault. Gauntlet. Whatever. We'll do it on normal first. We will do advanced on it, but I will start with normal. So, there's that. No telling how long this is going to take to load up. So I will go ahead and pause the video. Come back when it is ready. And there we go, everybody. Dreneur Gauntlet popped. So let's check this one out. Again, this is normal difficulty we're starting on. We'll do advanced afterwards. I'll probably put on that console
we don't have a lot of time,
for the
so
advanced version. But let's start off. It put me in a weird position here. I'm behind the satellite. Okay. So this shouldn't be too difficult. I do wonder what enemy we get, though. That always determines the difficulty, really, to me in this, is the enemy that spawns. You know, which one it is. The Voth are pretty tough. The Vodwar are pretty tough. The Borg weren't that tough, really, when I did it with the Borg. Some of the others can be real tough. Who do we
Enemy
got?
ships detected. They're on an intercept course.
We got Tholians. Ah, in a web. Okay, that was quick. Looks like we'll probably have a good team here, so that's good.
Parts are ready.
Let's do these sides. I always go to the end one over here because most people don't. They always start with the ones in the middle. But just because of time factor, I want to get them all scanned, so I go to the outer ones first. See, nobody went to this side except me. This guy over there, he's not doing much. Well, I guess he did the middle ones. Okay, see, now we got them all done. That's how you do it. Now, again, I think they spawn left and right. So we got two here. We got two here.
Picking up multiple enemy signals on sensors.
I'm going over here.
Get ready.
Kind of a lightning ability with that. That's crazy. Okay, I'm going to use my, here goes that antimatter spread, that is. They're all confused now. Two-minute cooldown. I wish it wasn't as long. Big web. They're going down pretty easy on normal quality here. So they're not that. I don't even need to use my destabilizing beam. I guess I'll just save it. Okay, I need to get out of the way, actually. It's all about the healing. I probably wasted that. Should have waited for the next round. The next phase. Oh well. I need to go back here again. They love those webs. I can just sit here all day and do this, I guess. Making it difficult for me. "30 seconds more of this. Then we go to the next phase. We're all at 100%. I'm surprised. I mean, that's good. They haven't even made it past me yet. Okay, time to do the shield thingy. Or not, the satellite thingy here. This satellite's crooked, look at that. What the heck did that? So yet again, a Tier 4 Starship, Tier 4, doing well at in-game PvE content. Red alert, STF, no problemo.
Picking up the enemy flagships. Hang on up there.
Now it gets a little tougher. We got the enemy flagships. So that's going to be a bit more difficult. I think I'm the only one in the middle. Come on, Tarantula. There we go. Ah, they teleported me. I the only person in the middle? I can't tell. I think so. Yeah, everybody... Oh, there's one person is close to me. Everybody else is far away. Let's hit him with the quantum. Shoot, I missed him. Oh, there we go. Yo, that hurt. Well, that hurt a lot, and it's continuing to hurt, and I can't do anything about it. Can't do crap. Yeah, I like that torpedo spread a lot better. Got him. Torpedo spread time. Or, I mean, antimatter spread.
We did it! Enemy fleets have disengaged.
Oh, and I blew up right at the end. Oh, come on. I was doing so well until right there. Okay, I blew up once, but come on. That was a pretty good job. For a tier 4 starship, I mean, come on. So basically, has antimatter spread really helped me a whole lot? No, it hasn't. But yeah, it really just hasn't. I think I will probably benefit better from taking the antimatter spread off and using another console. In fact, I'll put this console on, but I'll do that on the advanced ones. Not a bad run. That was a pretty good run. Let's do another normal run. We'll do Tholian Red Alert. Let's do that. And then after that, we'll do advanced stuff. We'll do ISA advanced. Conduit advanced. We'll do the Jernur, of course, advanced. Maybe I'll jump into a mission too. I didn't do that in the last video. Didn't really feel that I needed to show like mission content, but maybe I'll do something. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, let's do Tholian Red Alert next. Tholian Red Alert Tholian. And then after this Red Alert, we will switch the consoles and look at the difference with the console, and then go do advanced ISA and advanced Jernur Gauntlet. That'll be a good test. Good test of it. Alright, here we go. If my antimatter spread is cooled down, which it is, I can use that over here. And go ram. Whoa. Big web behind me. Whoa! Something hit me hard. Something hit a lot of people hard. Alright, let's go for the big ones. What shall I do with the drunken sailor? What shall I do? Let's do one of them, and one of them, and one of them, and one of them, and one of them. One of them. One of them. One of them. Oh, I didn't have that on. Uh-oh, I'm dying. And I'm not really good. I was dying too fast there to heal, and I knew it. Trying to bite off more than I can chew with this tarantula here. We are in a level 60 match. Just wanted to make sure to note that. Where'd they go? There they are. Way over here, huh? Yeah, these are a bit of a pain to take down. Oh, went too fast there. There we go. Now I'm doing some damage. Those things are a pain. And they teleport. They teleport you too. We have a lot of little ships on us. That's what's causing a problem here. Trying to take out some of these little ships. And I'm gone. There, that'll help. I haven't really noticed my weapons go into haste or anything, so I know there's only a 2.5% chance of it. But I haven't really noticed any increase in cycle haste. If there has been any, I haven't noticed it. That inertia, I always forget about it and go a little too fast. Now we got him. And he's gone. My destabilizing beam for the win. That was tough. That was actually kind of tough there. Or it felt tough anyway. Tougher than usual. That run definitely felt more difficult than it does in the past, but I got through it with the ship. It was level 60, so I can see how with this ship that could be a little difficult. And it was, but got through it anyway. A few bluey uppies. Otherwise, did manage to get through it. Now I need to let my ship repair itself. Nope. That ain't gonna happen when the Terrans are firing at me. Let's get out of there so we can warp out.
Hull integrity below 75%.
And I'm gonna have to let my ship heal itself before we go into the next thing. Did take a lot of damage on that one. I want all my powers to cool down anyway for the next round of stuff, since we'll be doing advanced stuff next. So let's see what I've got at 3 minutes. So yeah, I need to let my stuff cool down. I want everything to be ready to go. So I'm going to do that. And while we're waiting though for everything to repair itself, let's go ahead and switch the consoles. So I'm taking off the antimatter spread. I know that's what's unique about this ship, but I am taking it off. Because you can do that. You have that option. Now I no longer have antimatter spread. It had no other passive bonuses, so having it on there, just having it on there, did not provide any other passive bonuses. So it's okay taking it off. And instead, I'm putting this on. This is the reinforced armaments. Now it has a plus 66.7% power transfer rate. So my power transfer rate's about to go through the roof. It's already at 309.35%, and it's about to go way up. This has a 25 Starship hull restoration, so that improves my hull healing. So when I use all my healing abilities, now I should get bigger heals. That's going to help a lot. And this is also going to flat out increase my Starship hull capacity by plus 25. Going to get a maximum hit point increase. My hull capacity right now, as you can see, is 53,649. So let's see what happens when we put this on. Also, don't forget, we're getting a two-part bonus. We're going to get a 5% firing cycle haste for energy weapons and a plus 15% flight speed. My flight speed's about to go up too. Here it goes. Put it on. It doesn't go there. I forgot. It doesn't go in science. You have to put it in engineering. But luckily, the Universal Assimilated Module is universal. And I believe this one is also... No, this is engineering. So I can move this one though. Boom. Now I can put this one in. Boom. 56,000 on my hull. So I'm from 53 to 56. My power transfer rate went up from 300 to 376%. Wow. So I now have a higher hull strength. I now have a higher power transfer rate. My hull heals will be higher when I use like engineering team and structural integrity field thingy. All of that should be higher now. And then my turn rate should also be higher. No, not my turn rate. My flight speed should be higher. 10.6 is my turn rate. But my flight speed is 41.29, or what was it before? 26. That went way up. Look at that. My flight speed is a lot higher now. So I now have a higher flight speed. I got a higher hull, and I've got the hull restoration, and then I've got the cycle haste is increased as well from 2.5 to 5%. So we'll look at and see if my weapons haste anymore. But yeah, with that console on, now we're even better, I think, in my opinion. That antimatter spread, it just wasn't doing enough for me. Just wasn't doing enough. Let's see what we have on ISA. Let's go to Omega Marks, Infected the Conduit, Advanced, check mark. And now we wait. No telling how long this is going to pop. So once again, I'll pause the video and we'll come back when this thing's ready. And then we will see how this thing does in advance. Am I missing any icons? No, it put another torpedo spread there for some reason. But it took away my antimatter thing because I no longer have it. So, alright, I'll pause the video and we'll come back when it's ready. Alright everybody, here we go. Infected the Conduit, Advanced, hugging it. This is advanced mode. We'll see how it goes. You never know how these STFs go. They can go good or bad. So, hoping for a good one. A little too fast again. So far, so good. Nanite spheres. Uh-oh. This side's already popped. Somebody popped it already. Are you kidding me? You gotta get this down fast, man. I'm giving it everything I got because we gotta get this thing down super fast. And we are going to succeed, yes. That's what happens when somebody pops things too early. Here we go. Yeah, I cloaked for a second. Somebody must have a ability that does that. That was quite easy. Quite easy. So you should have no trouble, just like the other ship, no trouble playing the Borg STFs on Advanced, so you can get all of your Omega marks. I'd be interested if anyone parsed as well. I wonder what DPS I'm doing. I really don't know. I didn't check that on my previous ship, and I didn't check it on this ship. What my DPS is. Maybe I should have done that. But I didn't. So I don't know what my actual DPS numbers are. Someone might have, though. Let's see. That person's out. That person's out. And it appears maybe nobody did parse. Oh well. Oh well. I'm doing pretty good anyway. No complaints. For a Tier 4 starship. I can't wait till we try the retrofit one, which is Tier 5. Should be even better. I should really have no trouble with anything with that ship. Okay, so that was Advanced. Alright, so let's now do Advanced Journeur. Is it cooled down yet? Probably not. 6 minutes to go. So I'm going to pause the video, and then we're going to come back in 6 minutes, and we're going to do the Dranur Gauntlet on Advanced. That'll be fun. Alright, here we go, everybody. This is Dranur Gauntlet in Advanced mode. So this should be quite a challenge for our little Tier Fear.
We don't have a lot of time, so I'll make this
Tier 4 Starship. Sea-Store Starship. We don't have antimatter spread this time. Remember, we've got the reinforced armaments, the 2 Trilithium set bonus there going on, so we will see what happens. All command ones are available now. We got shield frequency, strategic maneuvering, and weapon systems. Everybody has a command ability. That's cool. So we got all of them active.
enemy ships detected.
Oh, we got Tholians
They're on
again.
an intercept course.
That's crazy. Well, they're definitely hitting harder than the last time. As you can see, I've taken a lot more damage.
Parts are
Even though we do have a higher hull strength than before, 56,000 now. It's a little bit better, not a ton better though. Okay, we're good. Go to my usual perching spot.
picking up multiple enemy signals on
spot.
sensors. Get ready.
This side. Am I all alone? I am all alone. This is gonna be bad. Okay, I have no chance to survive. Make my time. Okay. Holy crap. I died fast. That did not last long. I'm not going to be able to do this on my own. Not with this ship. That was ouch. Look, I've already got an injury. That was much ouch. We'll cry. Bringing in the Terrans and everything. Alright, we've got a little bit of a better rhythm going on here now. That was rough at first, though. Dang. I am taking a lot of damage. Holy crap. Look at that. Wow. Everybody's taking a lot of damage, though, you can tell here. They're hitting hard today, that's for sure. Wow, this is rough, guys. This is really rough. I don't know why this is tougher than the Voth were. The Tholians, man, on advanced. They're really hard. Yeah, this is harder than the Voth were, to be honest with you. I was able to do that pretty well. I don't know what's going on here, but this is rough. I've even got a higher hull strength now. Maybe the Tholians just hit harder. Very possible. And everybody's on the other side. You can see there's 3 people on that side, and there's only two of us on this side, so that hurts a little bit. That was a rough round right there. That was for sure a rough round. But we'll see what happens on the next round. I guess the next round will be even more difficult since we have the flagships. Alright, flagship time. This is definitely going to be difficult. But I will do my best with what I got.
Picking up the enemy flagships. Hang on up there.
Ow. Yep, got a little too close there. Dang, there's a tarantula right there.
We did it! Enemy fleets have disengaged.
Wow, that was a really rough run. Very intense run there, that one. 300 colony battery provisions, though. And a protomatter macro cannon
Looks
container.
like the assault is...
Good rewards, but yeah, that was a rough run. Everyone was having difficulty, though, I was noticing. And we're all in cruisers, too. But everyone was really having difficulty with that, so... That was definitely hitting hard. Those Tholians were hitting very hard. But that gives you a very good representation and idea of what you can expect at advanced level STFs, the really intense ones, with this ship. The Borg ones, they're pretty easy. But the Zenkethi ones, the latest stuff in the game, they are pretty difficult. And it shows you that this ship is right on the edge of being able to do it and not being able to do it, just depending on the team you have and the build you have. If you have a good team and you have a good build, you should be okay. You won't be the best ever, but you'll be okay. If you don't have a good build on this ship, or you have a terrible team, it could go very sour for you in advanced runs with a Tier 4 ship, even though it is a C-Store ship. Remember, it doesn't have anything that makes it more powerful, except it has the extra science slot, console slot, the extra ensign science bridge officer ability, and the antimatter spread. And the antimatter spread by itself really doesn't help you a ton. Now, combined with the other consoles we're going to get from the other Galaxy variants in the future, putting it combined with those ships, well, that will make a difference, and that will be better. But for right now, just the Tier 4 Starship alone, that antimatter thing is not as helpful as you think it would be. And pretty much, you're buying the looks. The ship, you're buying this texture, which you can use on any future Galaxy variant, so that's nice. You do get to use it on any of them, and it does look quite nice. So this is going to be now the summary of my look at the Venture class. The Venture class here, the Tier 4, as a Tier 4 starship, You know, if you're leveling a character, this is a really awesome ship to get. You're going to have a little bit of an advantage compared to the free ship. Of course, you have to pay Zen for it. If that is your only goal with the ship and you don't plan to have any more galaxies in your future, any more galaxy classes in your future, then you probably shouldn't spend the money on the Venture class. Just stick with the free Tier 4 version and then upgrade after that to other ships. Now, if you plan to keep with the theme and you want a Galaxy Class type of ship, then it would be beneficial because in the future you can combine those unique consoles to further the ability of a Tier 5 or Tier 6 Galaxy Class type ship. So if your goal is to keep going down the line and then getting the Tier 5 one and then getting the Tier 6 one and then maybe even the Dreadnought, if that's your goal and you want to get all of those ships, then it would make sense to get this ship too, so you can have the console to combine it in the later ships with the later ships consoles and put them all together for all those bonuses you get with the console. But otherwise, if you don't, you'll probably be okay with just the free version of this ship at Tier 4. This doesn't offer an extreme advantage to keep it as an in-game ship. It's slightly better than the Tier 4, but only very slightly. So that is my look at the Venture class in this game. And that is the last of the Tier 4 ships. So this does show that Tier 4 ships, once again, they are viable at in-game, just depending on what you're doing. Anything normal level, you'll have no difficulty with. That goes for missions, STFs, red alerts, etc. Normal, no problem. Advanced, it can do advanced, but I suggest having a really good build, Mark 14 gear, the highest rarity that you can, and then you'll have the best chance at having a really good advanced experience. And that's just going to depend on the STF. I would not use this ship to do anything on elite quality. It's a no-no. You will be doing your team a disservice taking this ship into an elite combat situation. So advanced would be your max with this. And that's the Tier 4 ships. Next, we're going to take a look at the Tier 5 ships in the next video. We move up a tier, Tier 5, and that's going to be the Retrofit. It's also a C-Store ship. Again, there are no free Galaxy Class type ships after this, only the paying variety with the C-Store. And if I can find it here we go. This is it, the Galaxy Exploration Cruiser Retrofit, Tier 5, and it does have saucer separation. So that's the one we're going to take a look at next. The Tier 5 should definitely be a bit better than the Tier 4 ship. So I'm looking forward to that. So there you go, everyone. Venture class in the bag. Thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for the next video.